Why do these edge cases get made to represent the whole of the movement? There's way more fucking ice element shit than there are these weird gay things happening for Pride Month. It's so I can tell you this. I think I've cracked the code on this. Nobody in grade school feels so strongly that they want to be stomping on pride flags and that's some shit mom and dad told them to do, okay? Every single time. The subreddit is up in arms over this ABBA and Preach video.
So, all across Canada right now, we're seeing a bunch of LGBTQ protests in regards to Pride Month being involved in schools. The government has come down saying it may be illegal not to celebrate Pride Month. Basically saying it goes against the human rights charter of said province to not celebrate Pride Month at school. So, parents don't want their kids to be indoctrinated.
Oh, wait, is that true? No shot. Is that actually true?
LGBTQ folks for, hey, we're not doing that. It helps with awareness and acceptance. Here's a teacher telling Muslim students that skipping LGBTQ events is not okay.
Well, I'll tell you, you are out to lunch. If you think it's acceptable to not show up because you think if there's some pride activities going on at school, right? Oh, that's fine. You know, because I'm going to show my opinion by hanging out at the mall. But meanwhile, all of those kids who are, you know, involved in, say, the Gay Straight Alliance or whatever, I don't even know if we have that anymore in our school, they're here when we did Ramadan for Lion Time, and they're showing respect in the class for your religion, right, for your beliefs. It goes two ways. If you want to be...
I will say, you know what? I will say, if the school did make them do some cringe and like Muslim suck shit or whatever, we're like, oh guys, we're Islam and blah blah blah. Make the little Muslim kids go to the Pride event, okay? If we had to go to their Muslim event, then they have to go to the gay event, okay? Make them do it. Make them do it. Keep it fair.
You are. If you don't want to suffer prejudice for your religion, your color of skin, your whatever, then you got to give it back to people who are different from you. That's how it works. It's an exchange. And it isn't like that in all countries. As I told you, in Uganda, literally, if they think you're gay, they will execute you. If you believe that kind of thing, then you don't belong here.
Damn.
Because that is not what Canada believes. We believe in freedom.
So if you don't participate in Pride events, you do not belong in Canada. Interesting. Listen, I don't know what Ramadan is like today, but when I was growing up, you did it. If you wanted to, you did it. And nobody cared. And honestly, I didn't care if the school got involved.
To be I'm trying to think if I'm being too charitable. If you're being really charitable, she didn't mean that like if you don't celebrate Pride Month, you don't belong in Canada. She probably meant that like if you're not tolerant of like gay people, you don't belong in Canada. If I'm being really charitable to her, that's a lot of charity though, but I don't know.
Why would I give a f? I'm fasting. I don't need you guys to eat sambusas with me. We're not going to be there when I break my fast. All right, you guys call it samosas, whatever the f you call it.
Yo, sambusas is fire.
That's what we call it.
I want to be there when y'all motherfuckers eat it.
That shit is delicious. But my whole point is like, Muslims have never been clamoring for other people to observe their religious experiences. They don't care. Just don't f with our shit. And I think most people agree you want to do this.
That is true. I don't think I've ever in my entire life even seen... Wait, hold on. People putting question marks in chat? Wait, what? Wait, when have you ever seen a Muslim be like, no, all of you need to observe Ramadan? Is that true? I'm sorry. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Big qualifier, okay? This is an American moment, okay? Big qualifier, okay? Here in America and Canada, we are very spoiled. Our Muslims are super based and super cool, okay? Be careful that when you're talking to your friends in like fucking France and the UK and shit, their Muslims are sometimes a little bit fucking crazy, okay? So anything that I say is coming from the perspective of an American thing with American Muslims, okay? Muslims in North America, all right? I can't speak to the European ones, okay? Because sometimes they're a little bit more wild over there, all right? Just as a heads up. What? At least in the United States, I have never in my life seen, heard, even heard by hearsay, somebody being like, oh yeah, like Muslims really want us to like celebrate Ramadan. That's just, I have never heard that. I don't even think I'd believe anybody if they told me they heard that. That is just a wild thing. So I don't know, people in chat that were acting like that was crazy. I don't know, but... In Bongerland, they don't care about forcing students in schools. They just want a person who's over there. Okay, yeah. Having your child excused from school during EID could be considered that. I agree with you though. I'm from the UK. That's kind of a bad take. There are lots of Muslims here that are totally fine. The nut jobs are a minority. Well, okay, hold on. They might be that way in the UK. I'm just saying that I can't. Wait, did items just disappear on the ground for me? No. I don't think that did. Pride flag in Canada in a few years. Shut up.
LGBTQ stuff, nobody cares. They just say, just don't f with our shit. We won't f with yours. But this whole thing about like, you don't belong here if you're not willing to participate in pride events is nonsensical. Okay? If you want, as an adult, to encourage people to go to pride events, there's nothing wrong with that. But saying people don't belong here because they don't want to go to your pride parade is stupid. And this is a bit, like, I'm for people having discussions.
She verbatim said, if you believe they should be killed, you don't belong here. 3119.
The fifth and final question that we get asked by our youngsters, and again, there are more, but my khutbah can only do 5. They say to us, this community, the LGBT community, they are amongst the forefronts of those helping us in America. They stand up for our rights. They champion our civil liberties. They fight for our freedoms. So shouldn't we return the favor to them? Shouldn't we help them like they helped us? This community, they say, is already discriminated against. They're already battling physical violence. And you, with your religious rhetoric, are adding fuel to that hatred. We respond to this question by saying, we acknowledge that many people of this community have helped us in our civil rights. And we learn from the seerah that whoever helps us, we appreciate that help. We thank them for that help. We appreciate the fact that they're standing for truth and justice. Mut'im ibn Adi was somebody who worshipped an idol. And Mut'im ibn Adi helped the Muslims multiple times. And the Prophet ﷺ accepted that help. And after Mut'im died, he praised Mut'im. He thanked Mut'im metaphorically. And I've given entire khutbahs about this. The fact that Mut'im worshipped idols did not prevent the Prophet ﷺ from thanking Mut'im for the good that he had done. But thanking somebody for their good does not mean helping to facilitate their evil. I repeat, thanking somebody for their good. Generically, we say we appreciate what you've done. We thank you for your services. We thank you for standing up for truth and justice. We may do that to anybody, but that doesn't mean that we facilitate evil for them. If anybody needs some generic help for a legitimate cause, no problem. Somebody's hungry, we help feed them. We don't care what your faith is. We don't ask your sexual orientation. Somebody wants to build a better society. Somebody wants to fight for better healthcare. Somebody wants to raise the bar of education. Come together, all of us, Muslim and Kafir, no matter what your background. Let's come together and make society better. No problem. We cooperate upon good. But somebody comes and says, for example, let's battle to make the age of drinking lower. You know, in Europe, it's 16 years you can drink alcohol. Here in America, it's 21. In Europe, it's 16. Suppose Americans came together, some of them said, we want to lower the bar. We want freedom for teenagers to drink. What are we going to say? I'm sorry, I can't join you in this cause. I don't agree with your cause. Your cause is haram and immoral. I don't agree with drinking. You want to lower the bar? I cannot join you. What if somebody comes and says, in this country, prostitution is illegal. In Europe, it's legal. What if somebody comes and says, we want to make prostitution legal. We want to give freedom to sex workers. We want to give them respectable jobs. I ask you by Allah, are you going to join that bandwagon? Are you going to say, we want freedom for sex workers? No, we can't.
I mean, this is true, right? There were awkward questions sometimes that politicians get when groups support them, and then people try to impugn somebody's character based on who's supporting her. I remember this happened once, Jesus, with Ron Paul, when people were like, oh, like there's some neo-Nazi groups that are supporting you, Ron Paul. Like, what do you have to say to that? And I think his answer is like, listen, if they support me, that's great, but I don't support them or their cause. Like, that's pretty standard. That's like a pretty normal take. I don't think anything too wild about that. You're not gonna like disavow support from communities just because you don't agree with everything they say, right?
About LGBTQ rights in schools during Pride Month. I don't think it's a problem. Okay, I don't care that people want to say, like, you know, the history of gay people in Canada. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you want to run like drag queen shows or running stuff like drag hour for kids or whatever, like, it's okay with parents saying like, I don't want that for my kids. The same way, I don't think there's anything wrong with not being accepting of like a Muslim sheikh coming to your school to talk to the kids or a pastor coming to. It's okay. You don't have to be for all of that stuff. But we've now made it where if you're not 100% with us, you're 100% against us. But why does it have to involve me? Why does my participation have to be part of this process? That is a question that I think a lot of people are asking. And I think there's actually a lot of school programs that are running Pride Month and their events very sensibly, okay? I really believe that. In that they're not, you know, overindulging. They're just saying, hey, we got this flag up here, and beyond that, like, we're chilling, okay? And maybe we talk about gay people and what they've experienced, which is, I don't think is bad. But then you have other stuff that I'm just like, what the fuck am I even looking at? Like this.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you guys.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
What am I watching?
Now, does anybody in this room know how to twerk? It's all in. And then you just move your bum up and down like that, and that's twerking.
What do you think about LGBTQ stuff being involved in Pride in schools? Do you think it's good, bad, in
It depends on
between?
the level of when it's done.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, people are trying to do too much. It's like Black History Month. Let's just put the example of Black History Month because that's what you motherfuckers are gonna go to first. If you talk about history, the history of black people, I understand that. But if I would walk in one day and my kids are in school and I pick them up and everybody has a Black Lives Matter shirt and they're in the
Pan-African flag.
Pan-African flag.
Yeah.
Kids with an afro.
I actually
with
want to see
glasses.
that.
Hold on. I don't want to see that. Other people are talking to me like, white kids come to me like, good morning, sir.
Yeah.
And I would be like,
I apologize for what we've done to you, mister.
That would be too much. And I'd be like, I don't want none of this shit.
Why do these edge cases get made to represent the whole of the movement? There's way more fucking ice television shit than there are these weird gay things happening for Pride Month. It's so. I can tell you this. I think I've cracked the code on this. I've already shared this on stream before. I think I've cracked the code on this. The reason why these edge cases end up being so prevalent, or rather prevalent in the media, it's not because they're common. It's because everybody on the left jumps to defend them. I think that if shit like this was happening and people on the left were like, oh yeah, that's kind of cringe, we shouldn't do shit like that, I don't think they would be stories. Because like then the conservatives couldn't point to any boogeyman and be like, oh, well, look at them all defending us. You're like, oh yeah, no, that's cringe. Like, probably shouldn't be doing stuff like this. And then you would just be done. But the fact that like everybody seems so eager to defend like literally fucking anything that has a pride flag on it, I think is probably what fuels the fire. Quantify everybody on the left. Everybody on the everybody in social media on the left, at least, I guess.
Claps are oppressive. Snaps are kindness. They're ways to undo white supremacy through low sound vibrations. Crystal.
People don't like your Amazon home take? My Amazon home take was just correct. If you don't like it, you just don't like facts. I'm sorry if that bothers some of you. My normie friends support things like self-ID. They have no regard for truth. They have only ever learned about liberal values, including about inclusiveness being inherently good. Nice.
African mythology. You just aren't in touch with the motherland, brother. And so right now you were using the oppressor's language. It's okay, it's not your fault. You've been indoctrinated, much like AI is indoctrinated the youth. You are having an opportunity to be indoctrinated by white supremacy through the indoctrination that we have on television, through your TV set, your movie set, your phone set, through your television, your computer, your tablets. Every day you are being programmed, my brother. ChatGPT is the new CIA.
Are you done?
Pride Month is the way that they will eliminate the black man by making our children gay. What they are doing is ensuring the fact that none of us reproduce through this LGBTQIA plus indoctrination. Carry on.
All right.
Poor Rich.
All this to say, when they're doing too much, like Abba just did, it's weird. It's just fucking weird. Shut the fuck up, nigga. No, but for real. No, when they do too much, it's just, yeah, it's too much. It's weird. I understand both parties, both sides. I understand both sides when they say, yeah, there's nothing inherently bad into drag hours and stuff like that, where it's a drag person, a drag queen, a drag person doing stories and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. It's the extremes and the debordement where it could go that I have a problem with. At the same time, on the other side, the people that are against that are gonna go to some extreme as well. You know what I mean? It's both. There's extreme in both sides. You know what I mean? I could understand a show where there's drag queens. The nudity doesn't belong in a school. Like in the same way whatever you see twerking to kids and this and that and whatever, whatnot, which exists and which happened, that thing that you just showed us happened. I want to see my little girl going to school and be like, coming back from school and be like, yes, I was today, honey. Oh yeah, it was a cool day out. I had a pole dance class today. Even if it's a pole dance class and it's done for fitness, you cannot remove the sex work part out of that.
Sorry.
You cannot.
That's disturbing.
It is, but I mean,
imagine kids doing pole dancing is just weird to me.
Boss, want to be careful going back to church. Is it like a hard boss?
I'll disagree
or?
with you on this point. I side with the parents because I think it's a parent's job to be overprotective of their children. That's what parents do.
Yeah, which is
right. Like you can't expect a parent to be like just trust them. What are
you against? From what I say,
so yeah, like you say you understand both sides, but I'm saying the one that makes the most sense is the parent side because parents are thinking about their kids' safety and their well-being.
We agree.
It's not like they're imagining aliens coming down from the sky. They're imagining stuff that they've actually seen other schools do. And here's the big problem: the reason why the other side, the drag side, loses.
Okay, hold on one sec. I need all my brain power for this.
A lot of its steam is because when crazy shit happens, instead of like saying it's not okay, they condone it. They're like, well, no, you guys don't understand this and that. I'm like, yo, you make all of yourselves look crazy when you are constantly supporting the fact that like you got kids doing drag stuff or you got kids doing this, and you might think that's okay.
Why do you have blade dance on your amulet? Wait, why does it matter?
But I side with most parents who polled on this matter say they don't think it's acceptable.
I don't think it's...
And that's not just right-leaning parents, that's also left-leaning parents who don't think some of this stuff is acceptable.
I don't think it's a problem that parents take out their kids from these activities. I don't see that's a problem. No. I don't see where the problem is there.
That happened too in Ontario.
Which is fine.
Well, during the Pride thing, I think it was like 40 or 60% of the kids didn't go to school those days.
Which is fine. And I don't think that's a problem. Where I have a problem is with the debordement and then kids stepping on flags and stuff like that.
You just cleared the stronghold? Oh, this is a stronghold that I cleared?
I don't have a problem with kids not going to certain schools, certain events. That's fine.
I didn't even know.
As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, my school was Catholic. I was Protestant. So whenever they had Bible study at school, I was not going. My parents said, when that class is happening, you're not going. It was not a disrespect to the Catholics. It was not a disrespect to the school.
If I know this Pride stuff's happening, you know the first thing I'm doing is I'm snitching to my Muslim parents. You wanna know why? Because we get to stay home, nigga, and I love staying home. Hey, I was in another class. And you get to read that book. Yeah. And while reading that book, bruv, it was a break for me from the rest of the school, and because I needed it, I was snoozing. You understand what I'm saying? Let me take a nappy nap and not bother you. Just if I snore. But that, I'll be in the corner. Fire.
But all that to say,
I'll be telling my parents, bro, I think they bring in a gay pastor to the school. They want to convert me to Islam. No, they want to convert me to Christianity and to homosexuality, bro. Let me stay home. I don't want to be gay, Mom. I don't want to be Christian. I'm going to be like, you stay home for the whole
thing. You should do the Dungeon Old Stones for the OP aspect for your build. I already got the Blade Dancer one. Do I need another one?
Video games. I'll be making shit up.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll be bringing flyers. I'll be playing both sides. This is what I'll be doing. I'll be going to school. I'll be like, yo, I think we need to organize more LGBTQ events. And I'll be going home like, Mom, can you believe what they trying to turn me gay, nigga?
I will say, this is based on my experience with my friends' families growing up. You got to be careful on this one. Now, I don't know if this is true of everybody or whatever, just as a random thing. Also, for this bonus XP, does this mean I'm just getting more experience now? In these areas or just altogether? I will say that if you've got a family that is so religiously conservative that they're going to keep you home during like a Pride event, those parents are probably not the kind that let you play video games when you are when you're staying home from school. Those are the kind of parents who are like, oh, you're staying home from school today? That's great. Mom's going to be in the kitchen. If you've got questions, she'll help you with lunch, but you're going to be studying for 8 hours today, or maybe 6 hours. Since you're not in school, you're still going to be doing schoolwork. Because I had friends like that. It was like, bro, like, oh my God, like we got out of school today. There's some crazy shit. Like, yeah, my mom makes me study whenever like this happens or whatever. But yeah, sometimes in flu season when like multiple kids will be staying home and shit. Damn, Frank, I remember those days. Oof. Yeah, but they were not fun. Like, oh my God, I get to stay home from school days. They were like, oh, well, you're too sick to go to school. You're too sick to play video games.
But messages like this were quickly drowned out by the noise of a rowdy crowd. students tearing through pride posters and dancing on pride flags.
You said you had a problem with kids stomping on the flag.
Yeah,
Why?
because that's where we go into disrespectful. You know what I mean? Where you don't go into a certain activity, it's just like, I'm not gonna partake for this and that. You're not necessarily disrespecting the person. You're not necessarily disrespecting the person, whatever. But stomping on a flag, just what stomping on a flag means.
Right.
Just knowing that a flag is not even supposed to touch the ground. You putting it on the ground. Flag is not supposed to go on the ground. Now you put it on the ground and you stomp it.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Why, if a kid wants to stomp on a flag, why can't they?
I don't want them to stomp on the flag because that it shows violence. It shows it's what it means to stomp on a flag.
For the record, because I know there's like 20 people in my subreddit already like typing up their soy posts about this. I think it's just as cringe to have your kids like in an anti-LGBT march as in a pro-LGBT march. Like the kids have no fucking idea what's going on here.
Right? It's the violence with stomping on the flag, what that means.
It means that you're disrespecting the whole thing.
Yeah, you're disrespecting, you're dirtying the flag, you're disrespecting it. It's okay to say that you don't involve or you don't believe in that or you don't want none of that.
Wait, so greater radiant chest, is that the best one I can get, or is there like a greatest radiant chest?
That happened with you, but stomping on a flag, that's a line that I wouldn't cross. It's highly disrespectful.
Okay, thank you.
Highly disrespectful.
I think when you make that kind of stuff mandatory and you force it on people, their reaction is to stomp on it. I don't think they would ever stomp on it if they weren't making this stuff mandatory and forcing it on people. They're not stomping on the flag to say fuck LGBTQ people. They're saying we don't want this forced on us. It's a different thing.
I can understand that. I understand what you're saying and why it's happening. I'm still not for it happening.
Yeah. Well, listen.
You could just
they push kids to wear LGBTQ flags. They make them wear it on their heads. They make them put on.
Hold on, to be clear, nobody in grade school feels so strongly. I can speak from experience because I was once in grade school, okay? Nobody in grade school feels so strongly that they want to be stomping on fucking pride flags and shit. That's some shit that mom and dad told them to do, okay? Every single time, all right?
The colors, they make them do all kinds of weird stuff.
That
and these
like
are kids,
1920 propaganda, but keep on going.
What?
What they doing?
Okay. So they're pushing the kids to do that, right? And look, I think it's kind of weird because I don't even think kids really have the mental capacity to really understand all the political implications of like donning these flags and stuff like that. But they push the kids to do it. So for me, if other kids are stomping on it, I really don't care. We're already pushing kids to like adopt these political symbols, whether they really understand it or not. And then after they do that, then they're saying, well, you can't do it this way. For me, you want to stomp on it, you want to wear it. If one's okay, then all of them are okay. I don't think it's a good thing. What I'm trying to say is we're already pushing our kids into that political arena. And as far as them stomping on it, I will say, though, that is true. And this is what I'll always say when arguments come out, they get really personal or whatever. If somebody's going to wheel out, like, it could be a dead family member, it could be their religion, it could be a dead animal, whatever. When people start to wheel that stuff out, and bring it into the battlefield, well, now it can be attacked, right? So if you're gonna say that like kids can wear pride flags and pride shirts and all that shit to school, whatever, kids should also probably be allowed to protest pride flags and pride. If that means stopping on it or whatever, then that's on you. If you don't want to see it at all, then you probably shouldn't have it at all there. But, you know. Yeah, no. Really believe that this is only because it's being mandatory and not because they actually have a deep issue with LGBTQ people. Because I don't think I've seen this kind of stuff generally outside of protests in regards to like mandatory rights. Sure. So that's why I stand on the stomping on the flag. Anyways, I think all in all, the cultural war stuff has really reached new heights. I think there's a lot of fear surrounding it, some of it a bit irrational, but I also understand because the side with whom this fear is geared towards hasn't done a good side from distancing itself from extremism, and then they get lumped in with it. Right? So when you see, you know, Biden talking about, well, we give puberty blockers to minors and we should make all this stuff accessible to kids, it's like, yeah, a lot of parents who are against this kind of shit are going to be like, I don't know if I fuck with that. And you have the highest forms of government endorsing this stuff. And why am I talking about American politics on a Canadian issue? It's because you realize when it comes to a media level, Canadian parents are seeing videos from America, they're seeing videos from the UK, they're seeing videos from Canada. None of this stuff is bordered anymore. No. None of this, even though the laws might be different in different places, but what is the fear and the cultural involvement feels the same in all of these different places, oddly enough. So, yeah. cultural war stuff is real. You're seeing protests and fights breaking out in America, in Canada, even in the UK. And I don't think this stuff is going to go down. I think we're just seeing a bit of it now, and it's only going to go higher from here. With this next election cycle, I'm expecting a lot more.
Really?
Anything else?
No.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Parents of kids at Edison High School in Huntington Beach, California say this video was played to their kids in math class. Kids clearly didn't want to watch this Pride video, so the teacher threatened them with Saturday school to get them to watch it.
Wow, Miss Clark. Wow. Why are you showing this to kids?
Huntington Journal maybe, but Huntington Beach is progressive? Wait, are you source on that? I'm pretty sure Huntington Beach is relatively conservative. That was because I was shocked because when I drive around there, there's like fucking MAGA flags and shit up. Like Huntington Beach is a pretty conservative area compared to like LA and shit. Why would they be required to watch that? Did the gay kid kill themselves in class? I don't know. I just don't know. It just feels weird. I don't know. Whatever, dude. You knock yourselves out. Or, I mean, you're only f***ing yourselves up, so I don't know. It's retarded.